In an interview to Assam Tribune, the Prime Minister has spoken about the recent violence in the state of Manipur. The Prime Minister has said, and I quote, "We believe that it is our collective responsibility to deal with the situation sensitively. I have already spoken about this in Parliament. We have dedicated our best resources and administrative machinery to resolve the conflict." The Prime Minister further adds in that interview to Assam Tribune that there has been a long history of insurgencies, infiltration and institutional neglect. Yes, we decided to deal with insurgency firmly, but at the same time, we also ensured that the common people are embraced with great care and compassion. As a result, we have significantly controlled insurgency. We have also been able to win the trust of the people and ensure peace in the region. A total of 11 peace agreements have been signed thus far. Payal joins us now. Payal, a very important statement being made in this dealing with the situation that escalated sensitively and carefully. And this also comes at a time when he's been facing a lot of criticism from the opposite of in Manipur.
Well, the Prime Minister certainly was not silent, and he had in fact spoken about the been paraded in nude was something which the Prime Minister raised and said this is very, very objectionable, this is very, very disturbing for any daughter across the entire country. So over here, the Prime Minister, the article that we've just got, and in fact as an interview that he's given to Assam Tribune, he essentially highlights the achievement of the government from Vikas to Vishwas to work as pushed, in terms of removing insurgency from these regions. So in fact, development has been something which has been the key stone as far as the Narendra Modi government is concerned. Avantika, over the last 10 years, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has gone to the northeast at times many Prime Ministers in the country in the history of India so far. So that's the kind of focus that we've seen. And that's the reason the Prime Minister, in fact, named the 8 in the states that have been abandoned, but from abandoned to abundant. That's been the journey that the Prime Minister has really spoken about. He's spoken about the fact that there has been a clear-cut intent to actually work for the people of the state, to bring them to the mainland, and to make sure that the development also took center stage. This is something which, of course, the earlier governments could not really do, and the Prime Minister was really saying that a lot of the violence that the Northeast really witnessed was actually historical in nature, because the past governments did not act much against this. But even if there are people who have, dropped militancy and come to the mainstream, they've been embraced with open arms, and that's the reason you've seen as many as 11 accords being signed. You've seen many people who've been underground, they've come up and they surrendered, the arms have been surrendered. Right. And that's been a process that you've seen over a period of time. So obviously, resurgent Northeast is something which the Prime Minister has really spoken about. And recently, also in an interview, Avantika, he had said that many ministers from his government have been visiting the Northeast at least once in a month. So obviously, the journey as far as the Northeast development is concerned is one which is going to be told. So much so that Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister when the Northeast Development Ministry was formed, and actually clearly showed the intent of the government back then and even now.
Indeed. Komalika also joins us. Komalika, in fact, we were talking about that very horrific and tragic incident when the women were paraded naked and sexually assaulted, and we also witnessed national outrage over that video and how it washed out proceedings in Parliament. So the Prime Minister has spoken at length about in the insurgencies, infiltration and other issues, reassuring the nation and the state how he has dispatched the best resources. But what else has the Prime Minister said as far as the ethnic violence is concerned?
One thing is very clear, that this is a very sensitive issue.
Yes.
The Manipur issue is a very sensitive issue, and that is their collective responsibility to deal this situation sensitively. He has also stated that he has spoken about this in the Parliament, and they have dedicated their best resources and administrative machineries to resolve this conflict. And because of the timely intervention of the Government of India and efforts made by the Government of Manipur, there has been a marked improvement in the situation. Adding to that, he has also stated that Home Minister Amit Shah stayed in Manipur while the conflict was at its peak. We know that Amit Shah was there for 3 to 4 days, holding 15+ meetings with various stakeholders to help resolve the conflict. This is one thing which he also mentioned. The central government has been constantly extending their support as required by the state government, and the process of relief and rehabilitation is ongoing, and rehabilitation of people living in shelter camps in the state. So one is that Manipur is a very sensitive issue,
yes,
and the Government of India is dealing it with very much with a lot of sensitivity, and they know that the entire matter is very sensitive. Number two, none other than the Home Minister himself was present in Manipur, and the government has cleared everything about Manipur in Parliament, which was very important.
Right.
That he mentioned. Along with that, huge amount of, now one thing one has to accept, that the entire Northeast, the number of works which has been done in Arunachal Pradesh,
Right.
a lot of developments has taken place. Having said all these things, experts
Yes,
view
yes.
on the Northeast, which is very, very, very important to them.
Indeed, Komalika, thank you so much for joining us. And Payal, thanks to you as well. So the Prime Minister once again reassuring the nation that he and his government